Alright, how's everybody doing? I've watched my fair share of Grandes, so I know there's a lot of you out there who are familiar with this game and probably hate it correctly. Anyway, my name is LRock. I've had the world record in this game for a little bit over a year now. Last PB was set, I think 9 months ago, because this game is crazy. It's really hard to get better runs sometimes. A couple of things to note before I start, because I won't be doing a lot of talking during the run. I mean, I'll do my best, of course, but like, the sections aren't going to last long enough for me to be able to talk about them as they're going on. This game is completely loaded with RNG, as most of you probably know. Really bad controls. It's hard to describe. You really can't keep track of what's going on in this game at any given time, because everything's just so crazy. This happens, then that happens, and you know, it's nuts. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing we're going to do is use the R button to scroll the screen right, like we're doing here. That's going to get us a page. We're also going to be constantly jumping mailboxes because we're on the lookout for a soda can. For our first page, we generally want to get the purple door first, but I'll settle for the yellow door. There's some cool stuff I like showing off here. This level's basically a beat 'em up with really wonky weapons. Hammer's the worst weapon in this particular level, but it's still okay, just because it has a downward angle like what we're doing here. You just don't want to go blindly swinging it, because having it hit the ground and whiff causes lag. So you always want to make sure it makes contact. After the first 8 enemies, you're just going to move to the right here. You get good vacuum cleaners. Grab the fire extinguisher. This weapon has some cool tricks. You can turn the hitbox of it left or right, so you can snipe from other directions. So you basically have a hitbox behind you at all times. You can even zigzag it like that, which is kind of fun. Extra life for no reason. Take out all these vacuum cleaners. After 8 vacuum cleaners, which is always the number you get in any given section, you're just going to have to deal with a few itchy and scratchy bosses. Go ahead and move up the stairs here. And in this particular room, we're going to get the best weapon you're going to see in the entire run. That's the plunger gun here. Kill our 8 vacuum cleaners as designated. Sometimes it takes a little long for the last one to spawn. It's irritating. What can you do? 4 more here. So here's the room I'm going to get to show off my favorite part of this entire level. I honestly don't remember the name of the runner that showed me this, but apparently you can just camp out here underneath the sink and not get hit by anything, and it's awesome. So we're just going to chill here. It's a legit speed strat too, because this means you don't have to jump up on the counter and get back down or anything. Ideally you want to snipe them as they're incoming, but sometimes you can lose frames this way. Hardly a huge deal. As I mentioned, nothing will hit you. I thought for sure knives were going to clip him, but nah, you can just chill out here and do nothing. It's awesome. Bonk. This section, you've got 8 enemies that go in a specific pattern. You've got 2 scratchies, then itchy, then scratchy, then 2 itchies, then scratchy, then itchy. Really only know that if you've played it enough, that's for sure. They always have the same attacks: hammer, giant butcher knife, and we're going to celebrate by getting the swag kill from a fireball. That'll give us our first page. Back to the overworld. The second page, much like the first one's completely free. Just go back to the left. This one takes a little bit longer to spawn, but that's okay, because we can spend time looking for soda in the meantime. Oh hey, we got one, sweet. Having soda is the best insurance policy. We'll get to that here in a bit. We'll go snag this. Alright, so here we have the bloodstream. A couple things I've discovered about this level recently. It's of course very, very dangerous, because any grenade that touches you kills you and ends the level. But I've recently discovered that they can't throw grenades down. So if you approach the grenade guys from below, like I'm about to do here, they can't get to you. So he moves down to try to get to me first. That doesn't work. You always have priority to be able to snag them. Killing the red ones is ideal because they blow up and kill everything on screen, just like I did there. Come here, you. So the goal of this level is you have to continually kill these germs to get an old Simpsons character, very few people will remember, named Smiling Joe Fishin to appear. You have to touch him enough times to cause that barrier around your homework page to not appear. This is really scary, actually. That was actually terrifying. And every time you kill a germ, a new one spawns. And it buffers too. Like if you've killed one and then... If you kill one while touching Joe and then it comes back and it just respawns again, it'll always respawn right after you kill the next one. Which is awesome. Wow, that was bad. That was really, really bad. Get out of the way. Move, 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 move. Oh, we got our page. Okay. There was so much going on there, I didn't even know the force field was down. Every time you touch Joe, it just gets rid of part of the field. Anyway, so here's where speed strats come into effect. What we're going to do is we're going to force pages to spawn in the game by doing a little bit of... That was unfortunate. Come back here, Lisa, I need you. Ah, fine, we'll do this one. What we're going to have Lisa do is turn us into a frog. Now we're going to go on the hunt for a saxophone. I honestly don't know why this strat works. I discovered it by mistake one day during a run when I was just doing experimentations. Okay, so here's the saxophone. This works most of the time. So we're going to hit it and, hey, surprise, surprise, the page magically appeared. We're going to go chase it down. You run a lot slower as a frog, so you kind of have to make do. To the green door, we have Bartzilla, and this is a new strat I've been working on tonight. We're going to just stop. Most people are used to Bart just continually moving forward during this stage, but I've discovered there's no reason to do it. You can just stop. It prevents you from having to kick down buildings and therefore use up time. You can also kill these things as they spawn. I was wanting to experiment with this because I thought for certain you could affect the way that enemies spawn on screen as they come, which turns out is correct. You can just stand here and they're going to spawn as they will, but the game will still reach its end when it reaches its end. The good thing is, with the exception of tanks, you can always see anything incoming. You know when helicopters are going to show up, you know when jets are going to show up. And you can just plan out accordingly. Now, there is some downside to the strat. It's a little bit less safe than walking forward. It's a little bit more execution heavy, because I'm holding left the entire time, and you have to press right to do a fireball on these helicopters. So sometimes you have to let it go. That sucked. I didn't want to get hit by that. I think we're still okay, though. One thing a lot of people have asked me about this section is if Bart has health. I think he does, but you don't know how much health he has. Like, there's nothing indicating how much he has. You just have to make it your goal to not get hit. There's one more tank to deal with. Always want to make sure you can take out the tank first. The tank does more damage than the helicopter. When you get 4 fighter jets like that at the same time, that's the boss. Then here comes the shrink ray to just move you along. Okay, so this level is... There's not really a lot to say about this level. It's the most random thing in the game. It's a climb where you try to get to the top of this building, trying to avoid falling objects, which spawn randomly. There's absolutely no pattern to when and where these things show up. You just have to hope they don't appear above you. The other X factor is going to show up here in about... Now, we have Mothra here. She causes a lot of problems. She herself is essentially a moving, falling object. Like, she can move from left to right. She does the same thing to the others do. They don't do damage, they just knock you down the building about... I think it's about 4 stories? Sorry, I'm being quiet. I actually can't believe I got up here this quickly. Fight Homer, use our electrical shield, kill him off. That is probably the fastest I've ever completed that. I can't believe she didn't interfere with us at all. I think that's the first time I've ever been actually hitless on that stage, so that was cool. Not much else to say there, just had great RNG that time. Just don't get hit. Guess is the goal. So we have an old lady here, we're gonna pop a bubble on her head. Sometimes this doesn't work right away, especially the Jebediah heads start showing up. These guys clog up memory like it's nobody's business. Okay, we got a page. We got what we needed. We'll move on to the longest level of the run. This is Bartman. This stage takes anywhere from 4.5 to 5 minutes to complete. For the speed run, it's probably my least favorite level in the game. Casually, it's very fun. Like, it's not the worst designed level outside of Bart's weapon. That was unfortunate. I didn't want that to happen. We're gonna despawn these things. Generally, I try to kill them as they come in, but I was a little late on the execution there. So from here, we're gonna just kind of move around. I mean, you have a weapon, you have your slingshot. It's a really bad shmup, essentially, because you can only fire downward. Move on to our first boss. We have the twins. Oh, hey, we got to move down this time. I haven't gotten to move down all night. That's the pattern you always want, because that way you can get inside the balloon and just keep hitting them. Okay. Okay. Started off strong, not so much now. These balloons contain any number of things from health ups to extra lives. I generally only try to interact with them if they get in my way. You can move around it, but they have really good tracking. Like, they have really good up and down movement that can just interfere with you, which is really obnoxious. Our second boss here, we have Barney, who has really powerful attacks, but he's very much a glass cannon. He takes a lot of damage from your shots, just like that. Another strat I'm going to start off here is, in these sections where the missiles fire, which is, you know, the biggest obstacle in this level, if you just chill out here at the very bottom of the screen, they won't touch you. Just do whatever the heck you want down here. Because there's not really much else to say there. Just chill out and let them not get to you. I'll talk about the upcoming bosses. Smithers, we have to fight twice. He's the hardest boss in the run. Not so much because his patterns are annoying. He does have some really obnoxious RNG sometimes, but the reason he's so dangerous is because these missiles he's firing take off half your health. You just don't want them to touch you. So he had some pretty good fire rate there. He didn't despawn as quickly as I would have liked, but it's still fine. We'll be seeing him again here in a moment. That's not something I would have happen. You can sometimes iframe through those things like I did, but your iframes in this game are extremely limited. Don't want them to happen ever. This section's a little weary. You've got these green clouds. The pattern you want is to just go to the bottom and then fly up through the middle here. Let these things show up. Back step a little bit to get them out of the way. And then here, before you move back down, just let them go around you. Just like that, and it's a free despawn. Pretty great. Move down here. Move on to our next Smithers fight. Sorry, I had to check a couple things. There was a little silent there. Okay. Oh, that's always scary. When it's coming right for your head like that, it's terrifying. Not a great pattern. Yeah, we got hit. Man, we got hit again. I didn't want to die. If you're gonna die on Smithers, the best time to die is on the last hit, because it takes enough time for you to respawn that he can just leave the screen. So it still works out in your favor for the most part. Move on here for the last section. Last section is just more missiles. Just chill out at the bottom, do what you want. Upside here is we'll have perfect health going into Burns. Burns is actually kind of a weird boss fight. He essentially does the same thing every single time, left to right, fire bullets, yada yada yada. Best pattern I can say for that is watch for like small amount of input lag, because that's when he's going to spawn, and then just try to ever so slowly move down as soon as you hear the gunfire. You get inside its hitbox and you just mash A like crazy. See how many hits you can get. Like so. I don't know the exact number of cycles you want. I generally try to go for around, I think 8 is a good number that you want to get. I think we're a bit beyond 8 here. I think we're looking at more like a 9 cycle here. Yeah, I don't think we're going to kill him in this 8th one. We might not even get him in the 9th one. Oh, almost. Okay, so 10 cycle it is. Fine, Burns, you win. Unfortunate, but got that there. That moves on to our 6th page. This is where the game is going to start getting really scary. For the next spawn trick, you want to move to the middle of the screen, kill the TV with a watermelon seed, and we get a free page. Move on over here. We move on here to the hardest level in the game. This is Itchy and Scratchy level 2. There's an awful lot that can go wrong here. Just non-stop chicanery and nonsense. So you're going to go for this plunger gun. Now this is really important. The plunger gun, you need this weapon for the entire level in order to make sure you have a good run. After 5, you can move to the left. I always tend to shoot there to try to do a buffer strat. Generally I hit the eyeball, but I guess I missed this time. Eyeball nets you an extra life if you nail it, but you don't need those. Since the extra lives don't apply in the overworld, at least that one doesn't. Okay, moves on to our second room. Now the dangerous part from here is we're never going to see the plunger gun again. We're gonna move on to the kitchen. Unfortunately here you can't camp out below the sink because you have more enemies to deal with. There are these bubbles that pop out of the sink. And you always have to make sure that you can eradicate them as soon as they appear. The reason being, if anything touches you, it doesn't even have to kill you, it just has to touch you. You lose the plunger gun. You need that for the final boss. Reason being, it kills it in 8 hits, whereas any other weapon takes like over a minute to defeat it. Like the fire extinguisher is the only other viable option, and it takes a long time. Get rid of that thing. The itchy and scratching patterns here are exactly the same as the first kitchen. You just have bubbles to deal with. They are obnoxious. Be really careful when jumping down the counter to approach Scratchy. I've actually got down there and been hit by the hammer. It has a really active hitbox. Alright, hardest part of the level, this jump. May not seem like it, but this jump sucks. You get hit by a mousetrap, you lose the plunger gun. You don't want that. And those things have really, really weird trajectory. From here, we're just going to camp out. There's no reason to try to move left or right to spawn them faster. Just kill them as they approach. Because if you try to move around, those mousetraps are going to get you, and why risk losing the plunger gun? Alright, that'll clear that room. Onto the attic. I have these vacuum cleaners to deal with. Put them away. As always, there are 8 of them. I thought they were all going to appear from the left there. I was like, those have never been all from the same side before. We'll be really safe here. They're going to the plunger gun. 8 hits from the plunger gun and it's dead. It's never a problem beyond that. With the fire extinguisher, you're looking at over a minute of a battle of just swatting fireballs and just all kinds of terrible stuff. Alright, for our last page, we have 2 options. One, we can just keep looking for one, which is incredibly dangerous, or 2, we can hope some bullies will spawn. Oh, hey, we got bullies. Sweet. Burp them away, and we got our page. So move on to the last one here. This is the temple. I'm going to be quiet during this. This level's really obnoxious. Let's go. Alright, so that's page 1. We'll move on to the second page. Still gonna keep quiet here. Okay. Thought I went over there. That was scary. Also scary. It never hits you, but it looks like it's going to. That'll bring us to our last page. And oh my god, that's a new world record. My former PB was 1739, so this is a guaranteed world record. 1650, that might have been a late split, so 1653. So, I hope I discussed that game well enough. I couldn't believe I was on such incredible pace, but that Bartzilla 2 was amazing. I've never played that level and not gotten hit. That was just nuts. Good stuff. Okay, so while I have a second, to explain about the temple level, I always need extreme quiet there because I'll be honest, there's very little RNG in that level. It's the same pattern every single time. You just have to do it. The RNG comes in the fact that the devils will spawn, and as soon as they spawn, like, they can wreak all kinds of havoc. They can push you in directions you don't want to go. You can get rid of them, but it takes time to get rid of them. Your ultimate hope is to make sure that they don't approach you, and I got pretty lucky there. So, all right, bringing chat back up. Bad ending at B-. I don't know if I consider that a bad ending. I feel like any completion of this game is a good ending. Yes, Forceful Balloon. He is correct. A+ is only occurs at 125,000 points, and you're not playing this game for points. You're just trying to beat it. Whew, man. Did not expect a world record today. And if I mean, I thought that it might happen because I discovered that new Bartzilla 1 strat, but I didn't think I would be like, what was that, 46 seconds ahead of my previous time? It's pretty nuts. I don't know if anyone has any other questions regarding anything that I did there, but Bart getting above a D is a good ending. That's pretty accurate. What record is Spanish Inquisition? Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Trying to think of anything else I didn't go over. In the Bartzilla stage, the one where you climb, I didn't really have that much time to discuss what was going on there because the pace was just so incredibly good. There's an option where you can cling to the side of the building to avoid mom throw, but you move slower, so you don't want to do it. Plus, there's this weird glitch where when you come from the side of the building back to the front of the building, it can spawn you lower, and that can actually kill you. So, meh, things happen. Oh, is that the first one? Yo, that's awesome. Good times. I will be hounding you for that highlight later, by the way. I'll go ahead and, I'm going to submit this one as my actual run because I recorded it on my own channel, but this one I'll be submitting to AGDQ for Awful Block. Credits just loop. You can press start to get through them. I think you're just thinking of the background enemies that loop. I don't think they do. I don't know though. So, we'll see. I hope it happens. First record of this marathon. Man, legendary. Good times. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for checking this out. I wish I could have gotten to talk about it more, but I didn't think this run was gonna go as well as it did. That was just insane. Oh, hey, the credits do. Is this I mean, you can press start to go back into it. Brings you back to the title screen. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, everybody, from Kuso, Tuso, and the Big Bad Game-a-thon for watching. I will catch you all next time. Thank you so much.